Somewhere in the Central American forest, it is the first half of the 16th century. A group of hunters caught a wild boar and worked on their share. Jaguar Paw distributes its internal organs among his fellow hunters. Blunted is the target of a joke about the boar's testicles because he and his wife haven't had a child yet. Blunted eats the raw testicles believing that it helps in making his wife pregnant, but it made him throw up to the laughter of the others. Flint Sky, the father of Jaguar Paw, offers Blunted some corrective advice and gives him some red leaves to utilize the next time he and his wife attempts. Soon after, a group of migrants walking through the jungle and appearing dejected, interrupts them. A fisherman among them approaches Jaguar Paw and tells him that their village was attacked and that they are looking for a fresh start. The hunters went back to their village as Jaguar Paw is still keen to know more about what happened. Blunted goes back to his wife, and his mother-in-law nags him to hurry and give her grandkids. Shortly after he enters their hut, Blunted flees out screaming and holding his privates, then he sits down in a water trough, while his wife gargles with water. The leaves Flint Sky gave Blunted were intended to burn when brushed, and as he laughs, he collapses to the ground. Blunted yells at him but then joins in on the group's laughter. The following morning, unknowingly to the villagers, Holcane's warriors emerge, and observing the village to launch an attack. Jaguar Paw wakes up early from a dream and sees that the village is being approached by fire torches. Jaguar Paw hurriedly hides his wife and son in a deep cistern. One warrior noticed them and attacks them. Jaguar Paw managed to destroy the attacking warrior. The village is quickly overrun though, taking down the villagers one at a time. Jaguar Paw is in time to save his father by a warrior called Middle Eye. He is about to finish Middle Eye when their leader named Zero Wolf butts in. Middle Eye wants to get back to Jaguar Paw but Zero Wolf didn't let him. Overhearing Jaguar Paw calling Flint Sky as his father, Middle Eye executed Flint Sky as a revenge. In the aftermath, the warriors round up the surviving villagers, and force them on a long march through the jungle, and they crosses to the risky Long River. The following day, Cocoa Leaf loses his footing while walking down a narrow route and hangs precariously over the edge. Middle Eye observes with curiosity and encourages them to regain their footing as Jaguar Paw and the others succeed in dragging him back into the road. After releasing Cocoa Leaf from his restraints, he pushes him over the edge of the cliff. They arrive in a city where laborers toil in limestone quarries, turning the excess white and dousing the structures in quicklime. A laborer coughs up blood, and an elderly guy drools as he approaches the prisoners, pleading for assistance. Separated from the men, the captive women are sold into slavery. Blunted witnesses the rejection of his mother-in-law at auction because of her advanced age. She is given the freedom to explore and follows Blunted as far as she is able to go, confidently caressing his arm before leaning helplessly against a pillar. The captives are led through a tunnel where they come across images of human sacrifices painted on the walls. Women paint their bodies blue as they are led to the top of a step pyramid. Victims' heads are flung down the stairs and gathered in baskets at the bottom. Jaguar Paw observes as the first captive is killed by having his heart and skull severed. Curl Nose suffers the same fate. It's now Jaguar Paw's turn to be placed on the altar. Seemingly accepting his fate, he waits until the high priest stops due to a solar eclipse. The priest announces to the clamoring crowd that their god is pleased and begs for the sun to come back. He then gives Zero Wolf the order to free the other prisoners. Jaguar Paw and the others are brought to an abandoned ball court, where they are told to sprint the entire length in pairs toward the forest at the finish with the cynical promise of freedom if they succeed. It is obvious that the hostages are to be utilized as targets when Cut Rock advances to the end of the court as a finisher. The first to flee are Blunted and Smoke Frog, but before Cut Rock can finish them off, Smoke Frog is hit by a big stone and Blunted is speared in the lower back. The fisherman and Jaguar Paw are then instructed to leave. The fisherman is shot in the head by Snake Inc.'s arrow, and Jaguar Paw is hit by an arrow, falling close to Blunted. Blunted lunges and grabs Cut Rock by the leg, giving Jaguar Paw some time until Cut Rock can finish him off. Jaguar Paw tears off the arrowhead in his own body and stabs Cut Rock in the neck. Jaguar Paw stands, takes the arrow shaft out of his back, and dashes into the woods. Zero Wolf runs to his son and was so enraged that his son was killed. They went after Jaguar Paw and was determined for revenge. Jaguar Paw stumbles into a mass open grave containing the remains of thousands of sacrifice victims after running through a cornfield. He sprints through the decomposing corpses into the jungle, where he hides by climbing a tree while his wound is still bleeding. Under him, the Holcane Warriors move by quickly. When they are gone, he turns to see a roaring dangerous black jaguar. In the meantime, the Holcanes halt when they realize they have lost Jaguar Paw's track. One of them notices blood on Middle Eye's shoulder and they backtrack, keeping their eyes to the trees. They soon see Jaguar Paw running through the forest and Speaking Wind pursues him. As their paths merge in a clearing, Speaking Wind is attacked by the jaguar that was chasing Jaguar Paw. He is brutally beaten to death before the others arrive and kill the jaguar. The pursuit continues well into the morning. At one point, Drunkard's 4 approaches a tree that Jaguar Paw painted blue, but as he does so, a venomous snake bites him in the neck. Jaguar Paw is eventually caught up by the Holcanes and is compelled to jump over a tall waterfall after being trapped. The pursuing Holcanes bravely jumps over the waterfall as well to continue the pursuit. Seeing that the persistent Holcanes, Jaguar Paw hurriedly flees but falls into a muddy sinkhole and manages to escape. He stops and thinks for a moment before deciding he is not terrified and will not run any further. Jaguar Paw, smeared in black muck, approaches the Holcanes as they approach and launches a live wasp hive at them, causing the wasps to attack. Jaguar Paw sprints toward the stream, where he discovers a poisonous arrow frog, and takes its venom off a few massive thorns. Jaguar Paw gathers a huge leaf and rolls it into a blowgun as the Holcanes pass by the location where he is hiding. He launches darts at Hanging Moss, which has already been wounded by wasp stings. Middle Eye responds to Hanging Moss cries by turning around as he falls to the ground. Jaguar Paw and Middle Eye collide as they run at one another as each is eyeing the bludgeon that Hanging Moss dropped. As they get close to one another, Middle Eye swings his weapon, and Jaguar Paw only just manages to duck, taking a little knock to the head. Jaguar Paw grabs up Hanging Moss hammer and rises to strike Middle Eye in the temple. Jaguar Paw strikes him under the chin to death. He rushes to the cistern since it would soon fill with water when it suddenly starts to rain. Zero Wolf, who is furious, outpaces the other two in his pursuit. When Jaguar Paw arrives at the cistern, Seven is in labor and yelling for him to hurry as the cistern is filling with water. He is nearly missed by an arrow, and as Zero Wolf comes in, he flees into the bush. Zero Wolf had a good look on Jaguar Paw and fires an arrow hitting his left chest. Jaguar Paw turns to face Zero Wolf and pauses at a particular location in the forest that he is familiar with. Jaguar Paw waits and observes as Zero Wolf charges at him while drawing his dagger. Zero Wolf did not notice a tripwire and sets off the boar trap, piercing all his chest on its sharp spikes. Ten Peccary and Monkey Jaw continues to pursue until they reach the beach as Jaguar Paw collapses from exhaustion. Once they've caught up to him, they halt and stand there, gazing out over the water where a big fleet of Spanish ships are berthed. In small boats, soldiers and missionaries are rowing to shore. Jaguar Paw sprints back to the cistern as Monkey Jaw and Ten Peccary reach the coast while they are both mesmerized. He drags his family out of the cistern after discovering that Seven has just given birth. Jaguar Paw holds his newborn kid later, when the rain stops, and are followed by Seven and Turtles Run. Seven inquires as to whether they ought to proceed to the Spanish ships as they turn to face them. Jaguar Paw advises them to seek out a fresh start in the wild rather.